Welcome to the Fear and Greed Daily Interview. I'm Sean Aylmer. Today I'm talking to the Chief Executive Officer of an Australian tech company that's become a global success story. But unless you're in the hotel business, you may not realise just how big it is. Siteminder was founded in Sydney in 2006 to help hotels exchange booking information with the websites they listed their rooms on. It means that if you've ever booked a hotel online, chances are you've used Siteminder's technology, probably without knowing it. Fast forward to 2020 and the company hit a $1 billion valuation, officially making Siteminder an Australian unicorn. Then in November last year, it listed on the ASX and now has a market capitalisation of well over $1.5 billion. This week, Siteminder announced its half-year results. Sankar Narayan is the CEO of Siteminder. Sankar, welcome to Fear and Greed.
Great to be here, Sean.
Now, Sankar and I worked together many, many years ago, as it turned out. You left the business I was in and have come and, you're running an ASX-listed company. Well done.
Oh, it's exciting. I had great experiences through my life, so great to be on the current journey that I am. It's a lot of exciting things happening.
Yeah, so before we get to exactly your results, tell us exactly how does Siteminder work?
Sean, Siteminder's platform helps hotels to literally connect to the world, and in doing so to sell, market, manage, and grow their business. As you mentioned, we are the platform that sits behind so many bookings, over 100 million reservations that happen every year pre-COVID. There are more than 1 million hotels with significant potential to improve how they connect to their customers online, with many still using pen and paper to manage their business, especially the small accommodation providers. Our leading open hotel commerce platform helps more than 33,000 hoteliers in 150 countries manage everything from one place. That includes everything from online bookings, both direct bookings and indirect bookings, through online travel agencies that we connect to, guest payments, hotel website design, updates, and guest communications. We provide data-driven insights for our hotel users so they can understand how they're performing and how they can optimize their performance. If you think about the day-to-day demands of a hotel, they're just relentless.
Yeah.
And that's what it makes it so easy through our platform.
Okay, so the data is all important, and I would imagine there'd be a lot of hotels on your or using Siteminder that actually don't have great data capabilities because of size or experience or for whatever. What's the sort of data that you're providing those organisations with?
Yeah, the best showcase was during COVID. The start of COVID in 2020 was something unlike I've ever seen. I'm sure we all can agree that it's been one of the most disruptive periods, particularly from a travel perspective in our lifetimes. And I remember watching our data and seeing going from 93% in February to plummet down to 9% in between February and April that same year. And it is for that particular reason that we created the Siteminder World Hotel Index, because when you have such big disruptions that are going around, you needed information for hotels to latch onto or compare against or benchmark against to see what's going on in the world. And what we do is we get the booking data of all our hotel customers to generate real-time reports and how hotel bookings are performing across more than 40 of the world's largest tourist country destinations. It's just one example about how we use the data for the collective benefit for our own customers, for them to make more meaningful decisions as they actually go about managing in a very uncertain environment as it is now.
Let's get into your half-year results, which you released a couple of days ago. Revenue was up, and there was real growth in the Americas. There wasn't growth in Asia Pacific. Does that basically point to a faster recovery in the US, which hasn't reached our area yet?
Absolutely. If you look at the state of travel, Americas has actually been open for quite a while, and they've had a lot of travel within the country. It's a fairly large country as well. And Mexico has actually been strong. And you compare that, and we grew 25% year on year. So strong growth coming out of the Americas. When you compare and contrast it to the Asian markets, particularly Southeast Asia, they've had the challenges of international travel being shut down or severely curtailed, a lot of travel restrictions that has had a big impact in the tourism market around in that region. And, come back to Australia itself, we were actually in lockdown for a majority of that particular half. So you combine that Asian performance, you see that challenge being reflected in broader travel weakness that we all experienced. But looking forward, I'm really positive about a recovery and resumption of travel in the Asian markets. Now you go to the EMEA and Europe markets, we grew. We grew in Europe markets, not as strong as Americas, which has actually been consistently open. Europe actually only reopened in the middle of last calendar year and started recovering. And there's been, it's been stable and looking forward to greater recovery in Europe as we get to 2022. But we're really looking for a big reopening of travel in Asia. But here's something that I would say, if you look at our own performance. The year before this year, last financial year, FY21, when there was a big disruption in travel, one of the biggest that I've seen in my lifetimes, as I mentioned, we were extremely resilient. We are very resilient. Sure enough, it declined, less than 6%, but that is against a broader industry backdrop where travel declined over 50% on a global basis. Just think back to last financial year, a lot more big lockdowns. We didn't have a lot of travel. Tourism was severely curtailed, and we were still very resilient. So the thematic from my perspective is, if FY21 was the year of resilience, FY22 is the year of re-acceleration.
Stay with me, Sankar. We'll be back in a minute. My guest this morning is Sankar Narayan, CEO of Siteminder. So what are some of the trends you expect to see within the industry? One thing about Siteminder is that you have so much data, and making sense of it, I'm sure, is a challenge. But what are some of the big trends you're seeing in the travel industry?
We saw big movements and changes in travel patterns. During COVID, international travel was down, but domestic travel was up. Airline travel was impacted, but there were a lot of people driving from metro regions to leisure destinations around them at a few hours driving time. So we saw big changes and movements in travel that we are able to observe, and we provided all of that to our customers to help them decide better. So if you look at that travel pivot that happened last year, that protected and was really beneficial to a lot of hotels outside of the core metro markets. But going into 2022, we're looking for a resumption of interstate travel. We're looking for more corporate travel to recover. We're looking for international travel to come back. And so you see continued growth in travel of a different nature as we actually get into 2022.
Okay. So Australia's borders reopening on Monday. Will that make a difference?
It will. It most certainly will. I'm looking forward to travel as well. So
me too.
I'm heading over to the London office to meet the team over there and spend some time talking to them. I used to travel quite a lot pre-COVID. Before that, put the brakes on for the last couple of years. So really looking forward to resuming my own personal travel. And so are millions of Australians who actually want to experience the joy of travel again. And so we're really looking forward to travel becoming a more mainstream activity that it was actually quite subdued with the duration of the pandemic.
Okay. Now, Siteminder, where's it going to be in 5 years' time, Sankar? What do you think? I mean, it's such a fragmented industry that you're operating in. Having a common platform obviously is very beneficial to many players, but where's Siteminder? When does it become profitable? Where do you think it will be in that 3 to 5 year time frame?
Yeah, Sean, I would say what really is the highlight of Siteminder is the global opportunity. You got a potential opportunity of over 1 million hotels who, have various degrees of legacy technology, and some even operate in pen and paper. So there's a real opportunity to bring the technology to hotels around the world. Then the question comes to Siteminder. Siteminder, our platform is in 8 languages. We have customers in over 150 countries, and we have product leadership, and that has been independently validated through all a stack of awards we received in a very independent agency.
Yep.
And so when you combine all of that, you see we have such potential to be able to drive the growth and bring technology to our customers to all parts of the world and be able to increase their sophistication, provide tools to drive their revenue growth, and for us to continue growing on a global basis over the next 5 years.
Okay. So do you have any sort of target set for that 5 year time frame?
Yeah, we did say post-resumption of COVID that we would actually get back to pre-COVID growth rates. And we were growing at around compounding at 30% per year. And we want to get back to those growth rates. And you see the early signs of it coming in the last half as the business starting to re-accelerate. But looking into the future, we want to be able to grow consistently at those kind of growth rates And the opportunity is there because we have lots of hotels, legacy technology, and we have leadership positions, and we have a global footprint along with a multilingual platform.
Sankar, thank you for talking to Fear and Greed.
Thank you, and good to talk to you again, Sean.
That was Sankar Narayan, CEO of Siteminder. This is the Fear and Greed Daily Interview. Join me every morning for the full Fear and Greed podcast with all the business news you need to know. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your day.